Hey ladies, I hear getting hit on by undesirable men is a big issue for y'all. But have you ever just tried to turn your negative experience into a hit song? Quote, I used to say it to all my friends all the time. If there was like a dude that was whack, we would just call him that. So I thought, that'd be a cute concept for our record, said Candy Burris, former member of the R&B vocal group Xscape. The record Burris was talking about wasn't for Xscape, but for a new duo she was forming with Tamika Tiny Caudle. The Candy and Tamika duo was simply called Cat, and their debut track was sure to be a hit. After all, it had Shakespeare producing it. Quote, one day I was riding around with my friends while listening to the track that Shakespeare gave me. We were both dating brothers at the time, and we were dogging them out because we were mad at them. I freestyled the entire song while just driving down a highway. The verse, hook, pre-chorus, the whole thing. I actually wrote a majority of the record on an old envelope that was sitting in my car, said Burris. Shakespeare, aka Kevin Briggs, gaveth the track to the would-be pop duo, and once they had delivered the lyrics, he tooketh it away. Why? Because record producer Dallas Austin kindly asked for the track to be given to Tion T-Boz Watkins, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and Rozonda Chili Thomas, the three women who made up the R&B group TLC. The group was working on their third studio album, 1999's Fan Mail, and Austin was convinced that the Shakespeare-Burris-Caudle collaboration was exactly what TLC needed for their lead single, and he was right. Featuring Chili on lead vocals was a first for the group's singles, but as exciting as that may have been for die-hard TLC fans, it was the song's lyrical content that resonated with women around the world. Quote, the single is an empowerment anthem. When we are performing it, I look out in the audience and say this cool little speech about certain guys you gotta stay away from. The reason I knew the song was going to be big is because what it's talking about is so relatable to every woman in America. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. These guys come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. So it was just a universal song that every woman can high-five each other with. It was a winner, said Chili. The song remains a winner to this day. Beyond popularizing a term for deadbeat dudes, the song hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, number 2 on the Billboard's year-end chart for 1999, won Grammys for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal, and Best R&B Song, and the number 303 spot on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time list in 2022. On Wikipedia and Songfacts, a great deal is made of the many answer songs responding to this track with a male perspective. Here on Cover Me, we're more interested in the Response TV show starring Zach Braff that aired from 2001 to 2010, with a title that simply removed the first word from TLC's two-word song title. Still can't figure out why the show takes place in a hospital, though. That's right! We're talking TLC's No Scrubs on Cover Me.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love.
That's right, it's Cover Me, the only podcast that compares famous songs to their many cover versions to find out which one is trying to holler at me. I'm your host, as always, The Snake, joined by my deadbeat co-host,
Alex Mildenberger.
Hey, Alex!
Hey.
What's going on?
Just beating dead things, horses.
Dead things.
But like, that's my hobbies.
Is that what you think a deadbeat is?
Yeah, right?
Is it? Do you think it stems from like journalists or cops who have like beats? Typically, two occupations don't have beats that are
Don't
just
have
like
beats? Sure.
they're going nowhere. It's like if you're a journalist with a dead beat, you got no job because
There's nothing going on there. But like a
There's no
deadbeat
news.
is someone who like doesn't provide, right?
yeah, it can be classically like doesn't provide and is maybe absent as well. When I think of a deadbeat dad, I think
Yeah.
of being in absentia.
Or like someone who doesn't pay you back.
yeah,
right?
yeah, it does seem to be fiscally focused.
Yeah, I don't know where the term comes from.
Yeah, hard to say, but hey, folks, if you know, tell somebody you know, and then eventually it'll reach us.
Yeah, I don't fully know where this term comes from either. I mean, there's a whole story about it, but it was mostly like, yeah, we said it. We used to say that word.
It seems to be like just an Atlanta-based term, was
Okay.
kind of what the internet said.
I guess
and then
slang is weird
yeah,
sometimes.
slang is slang. Well, it's interesting because I think for a couple of white dudes like us, our encounter with the term scrub is more likely to come from gaming than from
That's
this
true.
type of scene.
Just to being not very good at something.
yeah, get good scrub is
Yes,
is a
that's
classic.
That's true. And sometimes someone who like, I mean, we'll see it in the song, but like sort of acts as if they are better than they are.
Yeah. Part of being a scrub is pretending not to be a scrub.
Yeah. You have to be positive about. You have to be confident to to be a scrub. I don't know if that's true, but it does seem to be part of it.
It does seem to be part of it. Or at least some kind of fake confidence. But I'm confident that neither one of us has a strong history with TLC or their hit song, No Scrubs. Is that correct, Alex?
That is correct. I mean, I know the song. Like, I've heard the song before. It's like common enough that Weezer covered it.
That's right.
A few years back. And I wasn't like, oh, what's this song? Like, I had heard of it before. But no, I don't have a strong background with TLC. I mean, I know 2 of their songs, right? Like
No Scrubs and
Waterfalls.
Is it? I'm trying to remember in the hit film The Other Guys, starring Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
I've not seen that movie.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure there's a bit where their like police chief is always like accidentally, but like maybe not accidentally quoting TLC songs, and they keep recognizing it, and they're like, "That's TLC." He's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
Okay, interesting, fun bit. Nice that they pointed out because I would not have got that.
Otherwise, yeah.
Otherwise, like it would be fun to just have it in there, but it definitely was not a joke that I would pick up on.
I think even if you don't know it, once they establish the bit, you kind of can hear the like quote tone of like some of his lines. You're like,
true,
okay,
and they probably like drag it out longer than really makes sense because then it's more funny that way.
It is. That's comedy for you folks. That's a little comedy lesson we just dropped on you.
Just a little bit of comedy.
But irrelevant to this. Yeah, No Scrubs. Not that familiar with it. I know of it. Listen to it this week. Good song. Great song.
Yeah.
Hey. I do have some questions about the definition of scrub that we'll get into as we discuss the lyrics, but I do wonder if there needs to be an update to like, or just some clarification on some certain things here, because
certainly some of the things they talk about, I'm like, that's normal though, right?
Yeah, I'm like, well, culture has evolved in such a way that maybe this has
changed a bit.
This is not so scrub-like as we might believe. But we'll get into that. Naturally, the other question is, Alex, you're familiar with No Scrubs? Are you familiar with Scrubs starring Zach Braff?
The television program.
The television program.
I've watched it a bit.
Yeah.
I've watched it a bit. Watched Clueless recently that has some cast overlap.
That's right.
With Scrubs, but I'm not like overly familiar with Scrubs.
The Scrubiverse. It was huge back in the day.
I remember seeing a lot of ads for it. And like I knew who Zach Braff was.
How could you not?
Like I knew that Scrubs existed. I think my brother watched it and talked about it sometimes.
That sounds like something your brother would do.
I never watched it regularly. I've seen enough episodes, but
yeah, I mean, you see like 2-3 episodes, you kind of get it. Widely parodied, I think, in later years for this sort of like Zakrin voiceover stuff that Zach Braff would do in there. We'd be like, well, it turns out working in a hospital is just like working in a hospital. It's tough, but we love each other, and ain't that beautiful? And
right.
Okay.
Is there a video where someone just like takes his monologue out and he's just like sitting there like making faces?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that is something you can find.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to the like taking the laugh track out of shows.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Anyway, it's funny without the extra sound, and there's gaps.
It is, but there's extra sound to come in this episode yet, folks, as we start talking about the lyrics.
Yeah.
Which begin like this. Oh. That means there's trouble up ahead.
2 O's?
2 O's. I mean, I'm looking at Genius here, Alex. They don't fucking lie. Genius has never gotten a single lyric wrong.
No, I've never known them to. Actually, I am looking at one that only says O once. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just
okay with this.
I'm looking different pages. That's all.
I'm looking at No Scrubs with rap. Are you on with rap?
I'm not on with rap.
See, that's your problem right there. I'm on with rap, and so there is, there is the double O on that.
Sure.
That's how they kind of signify rap.
Yeah, I see that.
So for DJs, radio professionals, they know whether they're supposed to play this one or not. If it's you're in trouble. You can't play the rap. And so then they could switch to the 1-0.
Yeah, we are in trouble. I'm curious. I think the other one, the one we actually had on our playlist, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Was no rap. But then rap is in the music video. So,
but of course, censored in the music video. So,
of course,
I've never fully heard the rap. Now, great thing about this song, opens up, tells you everything you need to know about what the song's about. A scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a busta, brackets busta.
Yeah.
Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass. So
I remember that actually being my first introduction to the song. was my brother saying that line, and like, because it taken out of context, it sounds very silly.
Yes.
Because it's like, it doesn't really. I mean, it goes on to describe what a scrub is, but just the first couple lines, like, scrub. He's the guy who thinks he's fly, and then now we also have an alternative term for scrub that we don't use again.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So I do wonder if Busta was more common back in like 99 or something.
Like, it's similar to a Busta, and everyone's like, oh, I know what you mean now.
Yeah, but it's also like a good like dictionary definition kind of style. It's like also known as, because that's how a lot of dictionary definitions will end.
Right.
Or be like, see this. And it's like, okay. Yeah,
it's like, includes the thesaurus entry.
Yeah. Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass. So he's a man full of desires, but with no follow through, no action.
Yeah, which nothing wrong with being ambitious.
No.
With little follow through. I mean, I think. Right?
Right? Please tell me there's nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, it's very explicit about what it's about. It's like a dictionary definition at this point. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know he's broke. We know he's also, like, not working.
Yes.
Presumably, if he's broke or spending too much money. So, like, there's a disconnect between the ambition and, like, the reality, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's my first disconnect. I'm working, I'm still broke. Am I a busta? Am I a scrub?
You a busta? Are you a scrub? I mean, this guy doesn't say he's unemployed, but it does say he sits on his ass. Broke ass, specifically. But presumably that means he's not working. He also... might live with his parents, but that's unclear.
We get into sort of a list of criteria that could all define one man, or they all seem to be like a flow chart. Like, if you pass this thing, you're fine.
Yeah, but if you tick at least 7 of these boxes, you're a busta.
You're a busta for sure. This dude sucks. He's always talking about what he wants. So beyond being ambitious, he's open about it. And again, this kind of like bragging, this false confidence. He's like, man, I want to do this, and that, and telling people about it. And then no follow through.
Yeah, and I've met people who are always talking about their like grand ambitions, and they never seem to even come close. And it's like, it's just not being realistic, man.
Yeah, you're like, it's step one, man. You gotta do the little things before you do the big things. They're like, nah, I'm just gonna be fucking famous. You're like,
they're like, yeah, okay. We're gonna. It's like I mean, I think of it. Maybe it's not meant this way, but you think of it. The people who talk about like, and then we'll be rich. You know, it's like the get rich quick scheme idea, which I don't know if I ever knew someone who specifically was like, and then we'll be rich. But I, have talked to people who are like, and then I'll do this and like make all this money. And you're like, I don't know why you're telling me this, but like, good luck. And then you see them again. It's like, well, that didn't happen.
You're like, I didn't do any of that.
I'm like, well, I'm glad you were feeling it. Anyway, so that's the context I would think of it in, but also maybe it's a little different.
No, I would say that's a pretty good read on it in terms of always talking about what he wants. I think you got it.
All right.
But no, I don't want your number. No, I don't want to give you mine.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to meet you nowhere. No, don't want none of your time. And a lot of fucking cliffhangers in this.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing this has is Left Eye.
That's right.
Who's the rapper of the group?
That's correct.
Who's like not on the, I think Radio Edit is the other version.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's not on that at all. Like even this part, she like comes in between lines with like words and stuff. They're like, no, huh, all that stuff.
Right.
And they just like completely strip that out, which I thought was interesting because like they also take out the rap verse, which fine. But I'm surprised they took the rest of it too.
Yeah, why the like hype up stuff? Yeah. I don't know. That's very funny. I also love that every member of this group, including the producer and like some of the people who wrote it, all have a nickname.
The nicknames are great.
The nicknames are great.
Yeah.
Left Eye, I think particularly a very strong nickname.
Yeah, Left Eye, who passed away in 2002 or so.
Oh no.
But the other two members are still. That's why there's only 2 remaining members.
It's just TC now.
Yeah, it is just TC. Oh yeah, I guess that would have been. That makes sense. That makes sense why they called TLC.
You just put together TLC.
I didn't even like question it. I was like, yeah, it's the learning channel.
Like, I thought Tender Love and Care, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm glad we got to clear that up for you. This is great though. Great pre-chorus. It just straight up says like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to give you my number. I don't want your number. I don't want to go anywhere with you. I don't want any of this. Like, fuck off.
Please leave me alone. And I mean, the last line too, I don't want any of your time, makes it, I do like the way it is phrased, just because it makes it seem like the other person is considering themselves generous as giving away their time to them, to the narrator. But it's kind of like, no, I don't want that. Like,
yeah, and that's almost like oddly polite as a refusal to be like, I don't want any of your time, as opposed to I don't want you wasting my time.
Right.
Like,
I guess it is more polite in that way.
But I do think you've got the right read on it, is that, again, this sort of fake confident dude is like, come on, baby, I'm giving you my time. She's like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I think it ties in with that attitude for sure.
Yeah. Then we hit the chorus. No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holla at me. And then that's repeated.
And it just repeats it. Yeah.
So there is. So I went to Song Facts, and Song Facts was like, some dude in the comments was like, the song's about Dave Coulier. And I was like,
that's very specific.
That's very specific. And I was like, okay, I got to remember to check that. I put it in. The first result is The Hard Times, the music like version of The Onion.
Okay.
So a guy read The Hard Times and was like, this is fact.
Oh my gosh. Dave Coulier.
But apparently Dave Coulier believes the song You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette is about him. That's his belief.
Okay, so is that like the joke?
That's the joke, is that there's another 90s song about Dave Coulier.
Okay, so it's not this one.
Because the details in that Hard Times thing, I'm like, how did anybody believe it? It's like he hit on them using his Popeye voice. It's like... Why?
Oh my gosh! Okay. I had to look up Dave Coulier because I don't know him by name, but yeah, he's one of the guys from Full House.
Yes, he's one of the actors from Full House.
Okay, fair enough.
But so that's a little fun fact about this. I don't want no scrub. So yeah, I was just saying, like, dudes of this classification, who we've already classified, are these like falsely ambitious, lazy, deadbeat dudes who think they're cool but they're not. She's wanting that. And then another kind of way to identify a scrub, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride. Now that might cause some people to be offended. It's like, hey, sometimes I got to catch a ride with my friend. But it's the hollering, I think, that is the offending
Certainly
gesture.
The hollering. There seems to be maybe some implication of like he's not the one driving.
Yeah, which kind of gets expanded on
car.
Later in the bridge. Like, if you don't have a car, you're a scrub.
Yeah. But definitely, yeah, like the cat calling is like, I also like that he's trying to holla.
Yeah.
And like, obviously not doing it successfully.
Yeah. Hey, ladies.
Can't get no love, but also is just not really doing anything successful.
Yeah.
He's like barely in the car. He's trying, he's a tryhard as well, I think.
Yeah.
He's not very cool.
A tryhard in all the wrong ways, because he's not trying hard to meet his goals, but just to pick up ladies, I guess.
Yeah. But he's not up to snuff.
No. And so that's what we've got, and it's a good like image, because that is a cringy energy, this hanging out of the passenger side trying to pick people up in your friend's car.
Yeah. It's always weird. I mean, it hasn't happened in a long time, but I feel like it happened in high school sometimes where we would drive around a lot, and if anyone started shouting out the window, I'd be like, guys, stop.
Please, it's my license plate on the back.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a long time ago.
But we used to shout. I think most of our hollering was at each other.
Probably.
So, we got by okay. Never picked any of you up though, Never scored, so I was a bit of a scrub.
That never worked out. Or was it a goal? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but here's the thing. Well, scrub checking me, but his game is kind of weak, and I know that he cannot approach me because I'm looking like class and he's looking like trash. Can't get with a deadbeat ass. So yeah. Yeah, we got a little story now, Mm-hmm. You can see the scrub checking her out. Yes.
Obviously, weak game. We kind of already established this is not a very cool person.
Mm-hmm. So his game here referring to like his ability to pick up women, or just simply his general vibe, what the kids might call an aura, and or maybe just like his style in general.
I think that's part of it. I think it's all like a factor, right? I thought game was just like your ability to like attract women, basically.
Which I guess could be a composite of all these factors.
Like charisma and
Riz, as
looks,
the adults call it.
The adults call it. Etc. All the various factors you could possibly think of.
Yeah, Riz, fit, what kind of vape pen he's using, all these factors come into play.
Is there a red racing stripe on that vape pen?
That vape's faster, and that's good.
That's the best. And then obviously it doesn't look very good. He's looking like trash. And then accusing them of being a deadbeat.
Yes. Can't get with a deadbeat ass. I like that she believes, it's kind of interesting because she's like, one, scrubs will holler at you from their friend's car.
Sure.
But in this context, she's like, there's no way he can approach me. Which seems to rely on the knowledge that the scrub knows he's a scrub, which apparently is one factor that scrubs don't have.
Right. I guess that's the other thing is like the idea that you could like holler from a car or from afar or another rhyming term.
A safety.
But he would never, he doesn't have the game to actually approach.
I see. That makes sense. I can feel that.
Because that requires vulnerability. That requires you to make yourself vulnerable.
Right, which he's unwilling to do because he's a deadbeat.
Yeah, exactly. And a scrub.
A scrub. He's got no money. He's got no style. He's got no car. He ain't got much. From there we go to a pre-chorus to a chorus to then the bridge. If you don't have a car and you're walking, oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. So this is where we start to define who is a scrub.
Yeah.
If you live at home with your mama, oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. If you have a shorty that you don't show love, oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. Want to get with me with no money? Oh no, I don't want no scrubs, no scrubs, no scrubs, scrub, no scrubs, no scrubs. So, in today's modern society, Alex, is not having a car an example of being a scrub? In Calgary, I would say maybe.
In Calgary, we are a very car-based city, and I think there's a lot of car-based cities out there. Are you a scrub if you don't have a car? I don't think so, because, there's alternatives.
There are alternatives, yeah.
Obviously, in this case, like, a car is kind of a symbol of freedom, I think. And, like, particularly associated with American culture.
For sure, yeah.
I think. So that's part of it. It's just like it's a very powerful thing because it just represents the ability to go where you want when you want. Am I getting off topic? Maybe a bit. But I don't think in modern times like cars are important, but I also think like if you don't have a car and you can make do otherwise, fine.
Yeah, it is. I think that is really the thing. Is like, can you make do? And a car is a good symbol of that. It's you have the freedom you're able to. It's a sort of a power thing, right? You can drive wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
And then the flip side of that is you have to make payments on a car. Like you have to have a financial stability to have a car.
Right. That's the other thing. It is some form of symbol of finances. Ability to buy things. When you're getting a loan, that's considered one of your assets. Is any vehicles you own. I guess the other thing, and I don't know American cities all that well, but they're from Atlanta, right?
Right.
And
I feel like that's a car city.
I don't know, but like I'm thinking like New York. Wouldn't like if they were from New York, they wouldn't have added that lyric kind of thing. Like,
because you can get around on the subway, man.
Yeah, my understanding of New York is like cars aren't as important. I've been watching Friends with Fatima lately.
Okay, yeah,
and they never drive anywhere, right? Like, they take taxis everywhere, and there's even like a joke, like a whole episode I think is based around, or multiple maybe episodes in How I Met Your Mother, where they say like they're like. One of them has a car and they're like, it like just never drive it. It's like in a garage somewhere all the time. And then they go on like a road trip and it's just like an old car.
Yeah. And there's of course also like a famous like any episode of Seinfeld, it is famous.
Yeah.
Where George Costanza's trying to park a car in New York, because they're in New York, and it's just like a fucking nightmare. So yeah, like New York, I think.
Yeah, so it might be
ownership
different
of a car is different. And like I would
on
say,
where you are.
Vancouver, which has strong, public
Like transit.
you can be carless and not be a scrub. So like there is some leeway here, but I think that's also a benefit of being 30 years down the line from this song, 25 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Past this song, because in 1999, I think cars, almost regardless of where you are in North America, is kind of like that's a symbol of status, a symbol of power, and something you need to get around if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, it definitely is those things.
Yes.
And then, of course, also moving on, if you live at home with your mama, yes, I'm talking to you. Obviously, there are cultures that like have multi-generational households, right? Like
that's right.
So that's also very context dependent. But again, this is this very American perspective of like individualism and all that. Not that we don't have that. I associate it with America, but like Canada, obviously, has
like
that very
Western
strongly as well. Yeah,
culture. And the thing is, again, 1999, it was like, oh, you're 18 years old, you get out of the house, you start working, and live in the American dream.
Or
and
like get out and go to college and then start working or whatever. But whereas like leave home.
These days, like I have friends to this day who still live with their parents.
Yeah. We share those. Those are mutual friends.
Those are mutual friends, yeah. We have friends, and it's like, are they scrubs?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And
could be.
You hear about it more and more, right? People moving back home.
Yeah. So it happens.
But all that is to say, I could see why it would potentially raise a flag. Maybe a red flag in this song and maybe more like a yellow flag. Because, like, I could, it's not something some people wouldn't want to deal with in a relationship,
not
right?
Unheard of.
Like you would want to. It's not unheard of, certainly, but it is to some degree a symbol of like whether or not you can support yourself independently.
Yeah.
Now.
I do like that, though. You call it a yellow flag. It's like investigate further.
Yeah, exactly. Like raise an eyebrow, but
see what's going on here.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. But yeah, I think in the context of this song, 1999, these are all great, like, scrub indicator. I think we're working good here. We're rolling.
Sure. Especially, so I guess there's the other, and I wasn't like super cognizant in the 90s because, we were born 93. So like as a 6-year-old, I didn't know about this stuff. But this concept of like the just like dumb young adult, hanging out at home and being like watching Beavis and Butthead kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And just like
dumb as hell.
I don't know, getting stoned maybe, like
getting stoned definitely,
like,
my dude.
Dumb and like kind of lazy. I think it sort of plays into that as well. And they're like, I don't want that in my life.
Yeah. That was a big energy back then. If you have a shorty that you don't show love, this one is a little strange.
That one I'm like, yeah, okay, for sure. Like, I won't go out with you if you like already have a girlfriend that you are ignoring. Like, oh yeah, that's a real good indicator, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised this one doesn't just end at if you have a shorty.
I also, yeah, exactly.
It implies they're open to polyamorous relationships, provided the man is kind to his current shorty.
Yeah, it kind of does, right? One time I was walking downtown in Calgary with Fatima, and there was some somewhat rambunctious, I assume, 20-somethings, just like destroying some potted plants on 17th Ave. And then one of them ran over to us and handed me a flower. And he's like, this is for Shorty. And then he left. So that was fun.
Nice. Did you keep that flower?
No. Did not keep the flower.
But Alex, it was for Shorty.
I know. So that was fun.
It does seem like a bit of fun. Good on you for not narking on him, Alex. I'm very proud of you. Excellent. Yeah, if you have a shorty that you don't show a crazy line, but sure, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I want to get with me with no money. I mean, that's a big part of the other things they have mentioned already is like they're just broke. Yeah, and I think a line that makes a lot of sense, particularly for celebrity R&B vocalists such as Candy Burris, the original writer of this, and of course the members of TLC. It's like you don't want to be picking up somebody who's just a burden. I mean, kind of the question here is what level of lack of money is no money, right? True.
True, because zero money is like pretty extreme.
Yeah.
And like you could theoretically just like panhandle and get some money.
Yeah.
But I guess the other thing is like these are successful women, right? Like as in this case artists, but like yeah.
So yeah, you want somebody who can match your level of success, right? Essentially, the no money thing is I don't want somebody to take care of, right? I don't want to become your new mom.
Yeah. So like yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. But I think it was lines like this that like riled up dudes because there's like 6 different answer songs to this at least. They're like, actually, it's women who are the problem. And it's like, calm down, dude.
Yeah.
Because if you're responding to it, you are identifying yourself as a scrub.
Yeah,
right?
I know. If suddenly like, hey, wait a minute, why would you say that to me? And it's like, what? This is addressed at scrubs.
Yeah, are you a scrub? He's like, oh shit, they got me. Fuck. But yeah, that's the kind of the conditions for being a scrub is no money, live with your mother, no car, and you have a girlfriend that you don't treat well already. Yeah. That one's insane to me. But then yeah, chorus verse 3, and this is the Left Eye rap verse. See if you can't spatially expand my horizons. Then that leaves you in a class with scrubs, never rising. I don't find it surprising if you don't have the G's to please me and bounce from here to the coast of overseas. So let me give you something to think about. Think about. Inundate your mind with intentions to turn you out. Can't forget to focus on the picture in front of me. You as clear as a DVD on digital TV screens. Satisfy my appetite with something spectacular. Check your vernacular, and then I'll get back to you. With diamond-like precision, insatiable is what I envision. Can't detect acquisition from your friend's expedition. Mr. Big Willie, if you really want to know, ask Chili. Could I be a silly hoe? Not really. T-Boz and all my senoritas are stepping on your feelers, but you don't hear me, though.
There you go. I didn't look into this verse all that much.
Listen, I've got this one.
Okay.
Also, so I'm a little confused by spatially expand my horizons. Does she mean like get a bigger place to live? Or does she just mean like, you know, if you don't add new experiences to my life?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like if you don't add anything, like if you don't bring anything to the table kind of thing. Or like maybe help me grow as a person. Like
yeah, maybe. It's just, it's very weird because like expand my horizons is a term we all know. Beyond the purpose of like filling meter, I can't really understand what spatially is doing here.
Yeah, I think that's mostly it.
Yeah. So she's saying if you can't do that, like if you got nothing to offer, essentially you're a scrub.
It's
unsurprising to her that you don't have money.
There's a little bit of trivia in the Genius annotation. Apparently, Left Eye's ex-boyfriend's last name was Rison, Rison.
Oh, that's right.
So might be a reference to that.
Right, as in you'll never be this guy, Rison.
Yeah, or maybe it's calling him out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, what? Sorry, I'm reading the trivia now, and it says she one time burned his house down.
Yeah.
So that's
And they stayed together after that.
Okay.
He was like, well, maybe every relationship has a house burned down once.
Yeah, like it's not really a pattern of behavior if it only happens once.
So it happens twice.
Yeah.
I can risk it.
Yeah, don't have G's, of course, being money. Thousands specifically?
Thousands, yes, grands.
To bounce and
or
then,
unless she's talking about like fantasy currency. She's been playing a lot of JRPGs.
Gold, kill.
Yeah, pick one.
Zennies?
Not Zennies. Cannot be Zennies. It can't be, what is it in Kingdom Hearts? Money, but spelt like honey.
Money with a U.
Yeah, with a U. To please me, so yeah, she's saying it's unsurprising that you don't have the money to either please her or take long trips.
Like go on trip,
globe.
like travel.
Yeah. Which I guess, again, pulls into that expanding horizons. Is that what she's saying spatially? It's like, if you can't get us plane tickets,
yeah, true.
Fuck out of here.
Could tie into that. Experience new things.
Yeah. So she's like, it's not crazy to me that you don't have money to do anything because you don't look like much. So she's going to break it down for you. Let me give you something to think about and explain to you that you're very clearly a scrub because his motives are transparent, which is the clear as a DVD on digital TV screens.
Yeah.
She can tell he's just got scrub interests at heart. She's telling him to, basically work on yourself is kind of what she's saying. Satisfy my appetite with something spectacular. Check your vernacular. She's like, improve your vocabulary. Become interesting. Like,
yeah, I guess become interesting. And also, like, she is a rapper, right? So, like, that is kind of a skill that she holds in high regard, maybe?
Yeah, so there is a level of get on my level to this.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, check this. Look at what I can do. This is what you need to be able to, work with.
Like,
you need to be able to be on that level. Time like precision, insatiable is what I envision. Can't detect acquisition. So Expedition is a Ford vehicle.
Oh yes, it's capitalized.
Yeah, so a callback to the passenger side of the best friend's car.
Yep.
Mr. Big Willie is apparently a reference to dongs.
Sure.
The man's claiming to have a large hog, but also one of them worked with Will Smith, who on Big Willie Style. A Left Eye featured on Big Willie Style, the Will Smith song off the Will Smith album, Big Willie Style.
Willie Style.
Off, yeah, I think it was Big Willie Style.
Probably. I don't know Will Smith music.
I think it is because I once did a presentation on President William Taft, the largest president, and put his face over Will Smith's on the album.
On Big Willie Style.
On Big Willie Style.
Very nice.
Criminally underrated, that PowerPoint presentation.
Was that high school?
That was high school.
All right. Very nice.
Could I be a silly hoe? Not really. Yeah, she's saying she's not silly. Apparently, Silly Hoe was also a single off of this album as well that Left Eye was not on.
Oh, okay. She was kind of half on this one.
Yeah, so it's because she's working on a solo album apparently concurrently with this.
So she wasn't always around.
That was her thing. So she's saying just because she was absent from Silly Hoe doesn't mean she is one. So she's not going to fall for some scrub tricks. And then we get a pretty interesting line with T-Boz and all my senoritas are stepping on your filas.
Yeah, like the shoes.
Like the shoes. So here's a reference to style. We do have a verified annotation from Fila. Apparently the company was like, hey, Fila believes it's a reference to fellas.
Okay.
I think stepping on your feelings, which the Genius annotation says, is probably more likely.
Because they're too good.
Yeah.
Chili and T-Boz and Left Eye.
Yeah, and then of course ending with the fact that she's just delivered all of this information. She's overloaded him. But she knows ultimately the scrub is not going to listen.
He's not
he
listening.
Can't hear.
He's a scrub.
He's a scrub. Dude's a scrub.
That's what's going to happen.
Scrubs be scrubbing, and that's the song.
Yeah, that's it. There's no more. Well, there's music, but that's all the lyrics.
That's all the lyrics. And that is the song. A great takedown of broke dudes, deadbeat dudes, carless dudes, dudes who already have girlfriends.
Yeah. Who are cheating, it seems like. Or at least trying to, unsuccessfully.
Yeah, unsuccessfully attempting to cheat. Yeah, that is scrub behavior. What does it all sound like, though, Alex?
What does it sound like? So I feel like, I certainly don't have a strong R&B background, but it's not so unusual just because this era of R&B was something I had a little more exposure to through just pop music. Yeah,
and it's got kind of just 90 trends running through it, like that guitar arpeggio that it opens with is very 90s.
Kind of like Spanish guitar, a little bit.
Approaching it, yeah.
And there was a review that called it an acoustic, referred to it as acoustic, the song, and it's well, there's this guitar.
Yeah, you're the guitar is acoustic, sure, yeah.
Playing that so that's fun. As they do the intro thing.
Yeah.
Also, apparently there were some responses to this song. I hadn't ever heard of them though, so I think this song won out in the end.
Yeah, that's the funny thing they mentioned in the Wikipedia article is even when these songs got big, they were using the song structure of No Scrubs. Yeah. So not only did TLC get money off of that, but it also just naturally brought their song back into the charts because people were like, oh yeah, this sounds like No Scrubs, that song we all love.
Excellent. Yes. You gotta love it.
Yeah, hey, stay winning. The song's a winner, like Chili said.
Yeah. What else happens here? All right, so it doesn't take long like there's some of those arpeggios, and then the
Yeah.
So it's and they kind of do turnaround bits because like da 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 da, and then they da 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 da. So it's like those groups of 4 notes, and then they hang that final note, and then every 8 bars they do like an extra little turnaround.
Yeah. So yeah, we get kind of that full guitar loop at 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like that's where it finishes. And we get the introduction of like a sort of percussive element that I can only really describe as like Kirby walking sound effects.
Kirby walking.
It's like
Yeah. That kind of like balloon, like bubble popping, like synth thing.
yeah.
Like 8th notes.
I feel like it's like Kirby or like Yoshi or something. It's very much like a Nintendo like running sound.
Yes, very like fast running. There's that, and then of course the like drum machine comes in. It's like a hi-hat snare.
Yeah.
It sounds like a basic 4/4 beat, like but with no bass. And then there's some extra hi-hat on the second hit.
Yeah. Tap, tap, tap.
This part it stays like higher frequencies. We add a bass drum later, but not until the later section.
Yeah, right when we hit the pre-chorus with the backing no's that come in, we get that kick drum coming in.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's the extra singing that comes in. The beat, changes a bit. It's like using that bass drum. Very similar setup. There's also a chime. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, there is.
Which maybe it's a triangle. I don't know, but it's like that kind of sound.
Yeah, it's they got a lot of little effects here. It's another case of a song that isn't like it doesn't go heavy or big or huge.
No.
It keeps it active and like lively.
Yeah, I mean it sets up like a beat and it sticks with the beat, which is not so uncommon for the style of music.
Yeah. Well, staying smooth, and I also
absolutely.
like the just the dynamic energy of the backing vocals going no, like call and response of no to lead vocal line to back to no is very good.
Yeah. It's cool that they back it up like that.
Yeah,
just emphasize
cool
the no, because they're like, no. They got to repeat
the fuck out of here
and emphasize it. So there also are strings once we get into the chorus.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know why I added extra couple notes there.
It just felt right, baby. That's rhythm and blues.
Yeah. What is it? Dun, dun, dun. I feel like it's something else. Anyway, let's not worry about it. Maybe it's this song. There's even more backups too. It just sounds like it. I think it's more tracks.
Yeah, it's like multi-tracked, if not the other vocalist on there too.
But yeah, otherwise the beat like kind of stays more or less the same, and then the strings are just playing like 2 kind of chords. It never speeds up like that, actually.
Yeah.
And then once they move back into the verse, afterwards, the like string part is being played by an electric piano now. So they just like change that a little bit. So
that's right. Yeah, you can hear that tone change.
Yeah. But otherwise, we're back to solo singing. Bass drums back. There's some
drums
backups
are back.
still,
yeah.
Because I think like Deadbeat Ass has an extra backup.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, there's like backups, higher backups. But yeah, after that, I think it's more or less the same. Like the chorus is like similar. The strings are back in, and then like we get into our, I guess, bridge section, which might be a middle 8. It's between 2 choruses.
Yeah, it goes from. Well, it depends. It's a middle 8 in the non-rap version. It would be a bridge in the rap version.
Okay.
I think so. Is that right?
Well, I'm looking at the lyrics now. Chorus, bridge, chorus, and then verse 3. So there may be another chorus in there. But I'm not that familiar with the rap version.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. It's a middle 8, folks.
Anyway, so that's everything cuts just for a bit. The guitar picking is in there.
Yeah.
And then like the drums come back in. I really like the bass on this part. Get that?
Yeah, it's got
like
a nice groove
pattern, and then some nice like electric piano chords. This is around the like 140 mark that I'm really hearing it. Boom, boom.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
can hear a nice bass tone there.
Yeah,
string.
Yeah, it's a nice tone. The melody here is really nice. All that.
Yes, long. I'm talking to you. Yeah, another good call and response section, good melody on it.
Yeah, and then when you get
serves
with
as a
me,
bit of a breakdown.
it's all nice. It's all very nice.
Yeah.
Good little bridge / middle eight.
Good bridge.
Then they do the no scrubs, right?
Yeah. So
Also,
then if you take
the
that
bubble
as a
comes
different
back.
section, is it then a bridge and not a middle eight?
Oh yeah, are they like different sections? I don't know.
Or is that part? Because then it's not a middle. Because there's no way this is 8 bars, Alex. We should call this podcast middle eight or not. 'Cause
Middle
that's,
eight
I
or
think,
not middle eight.
Usually where most of our time
Like, I think you
goes.
could be a middle eight even if you're not 8 bars, but it's cheating.
It is cheating.
But that section happens, and then after that it's like outro, right? Like outro choruses.
Yeah. If it's the rap
For a
version,
while.
this is where you get the
Right,
rap
the rap
verse
verse.
in, and that rides. It sounds like pretty classic 90s rap.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, otherwise, it's basically outro for, like a minute and a half?
Yeah, and like Chili, who's doing leads on this,
Yeah.
does some like vocal runs and stuff. It's never like too much. It's not like crazy showing off or anything like some of them can be.
Yeah, it's
when
not like
in the
operatic
output.
or anything.
But like, so some nice little runs. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and that's it. That's the song.
And it fades out, and that's the song. Grammy award-winning song, also a MTV Video Music award-winning music video.
Oh, it's a pretty cool music video. There's like a lot of cool visuals in it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to hear them talk about it too, because they had to be in like a spinning tube for that
my
like
gosh.
hallway shot that they're in a lot.
Oh, yes. I see
So
that.
apparently they're fighting in the end because they've just like been doing the fucking shoot all day, and it's so hard to stay upright in this tunnel that they're goofing around. And there is the swing shot as well, which I believe that's Chili on there, and she's like, I had to practice with it at first because I was fucking scared of it, and she's like, and then I didn't want to get off the thing at the end.
It does look kind of like fun.
It does. So directed by Hype Williams, who's a music video and film director,
Right.
film producer, screenwriter. He directed the No Diggity music video, which we talked about
yes.
No Diggity like 100 years back. That's a fairly contemporary music video for this.
Yeah.
I feel like we've maybe talked about Hype Williams in another instance too, but that was the one I saw on his filmography. That was like,
Yeah,
okay,
I didn't
No
notice
Diggity.
anything else, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Hype Williams is a pretty classic music video like name to come up.
I mean, the name.
Yeah, the name alone, Hype Williams.
Yeah, Hype Williams, what a cool name.
Fucking, yeah.
Has done like so many music videos for a lot of very prominent artists.
Yeah, a lot of work with Kanye.
Yeah, I'm seeing, R. Kelly, Puff Daddy, okay.
Hey, there's some respectable names.
And like LL Cool J, Jay-Z, A Tribe Called Quest, Brandy.
Yeah.
Lots of like well-known names. Ja Rule.
Yeah, like the biggest names you could be doing in that time, he's pretty much doing.
Yeah. A lot of like R&B hip hop, but also like Jessica Simpson, which might actually count as R&B, but probably pop.
Probably hip hop more than anything.
Yeah, I actually don't know Jessica Simpson's music now that I'm
Jessica
thinking about
Simpson, hell of a rapper. No, I'm
Robyn
kidding.
Thicke.
Robyn Thicke. Quite
Anyway,
a resume on Hype Williams.
John Legend, just listing things. I'm just listing
John
things.
Lennon.
Yeah.
Posthumously, no.
Incredible. What's this one like though? It's like cool, like futuristic spaces.
It truly
cycles
is
between.
like a genre of music video. It's what if it was singers in space.
Yeah, what if singers in space, and they just like have a bunch of these like really kind of brushed steel, shiny sets that are lit really white.
Yeah. And of course, we got about 3 or 4 different outfits for
each.
TLC.
Yeah. They kind of there's like all white outfits, and then there's all black outfits, and then there's like a purple one later on.
Yeah, and then like a sort of like tinfoily looking silver one.
Oh yeah, the silver stuff.
The kind of classic space look. And then these laser tag targets they put on themselves.
On the like black outfits. They're like kind of pleathery. Like, is it a halter top? I don't know.
Hey man, you're asking the wrong guy here.
and it just sort of like cuts between, like you mentioned, there's like a swing, and sometimes the camera's following along with the swing, and you can see
like sometimes it's
Chili
fixed on it.
singing on the swing. Kind of doing some dancing. You often, when she's singing, it will focus on her. You mentioned the round room. They seem to be like compositing shots of this round room, so like you can see one of them will be like standing on the wall,
like, crawling up the walls. That's a fun shot.
Yeah, for theirs, or just walking on various walls. Different walls, presumably because the gravity's not real. And just doing a lot of dancing.
Yeah, a lot of dancing. There's a good, like, they do a lot of like low angle shots of just like each individual member dancing in like a a room.
Yeah,
and the red-haired one, who I'm thinking is T-Boz,
I think you're right.
It does a really good like kind of like pop and lock style, a lot of like freezing.
Yeah, is that later on?
That is later on. That's a lot. She's wearing the white outfit then.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
That's a very cool. I was like, oh, this is sick. In the rap scene, we've got
she's got like the weird like red suspender things.
Yeah, that it's almost like Fifth Element style kind of.
Yeah. And she's like looks like she's sped up at times, like she's getting like the speed is being like ramped.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's doing that on her own. Maybe she is, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks it adds to this like robot feel.
Yeah.
It's very well shot and or performed. Like it looks sick.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm just like, there's a bunch of these different rooms. Like there's this hexagonal room. There's a room where TLC is on the wall. It says TLC.
Yeah.
There's like a cylindrical room where there's just lights everywhere.
They got all your favorite sci-fi space station rooms.
Yeah, and then like the Rapverse has this like spherical room, and you can see this silver camera floating around, which is probably CGI.
Probably. But that helmet she's wearing in that in the rap section is a delight.
Is that the head what's that, like Metropolis? Is that no?
I'm not
it's like
sure,
old sci-fi movie. Is it called Metropolis?
Are you thinking of Megalopolis? No, that's the new one.
I think.
Are you talking about
the new movie.
That's the new one. You're talking about the 1927 German expressionist science fiction silent film directed by Fritz Lang and written by Thea von Harbour.
Yeah, reminds me of that.
Yeah, I can see that even just looking at this movie poster. Yeah. It's got a bit of that energy. But that's kind of the big beats of the music video. It's dancing in different rooms, wearing cool sci-fi shit. And for some reason, a swing. Like, I don't know why.
I feel like it's all like this like zero gravity stuff, right? So I wonder if that's supposed to be like a pendulum thing that doesn't really mean anything, but in a sci-fi context, kind of looks cool.
Yeah, it is just a lot of like what's visual. Because even if we think of like next step, how does this relate to the song? Like,
yeah, it looks cool. It's very 1999.
Yeah, there's just maybe it's because they're women of the future. They're women in space, and this is like a real.
Oh yeah,
this is a hard stance, being like, "Hey, dog, scrubs are not cool. We don't need to put up with that shit. We're from the future. We're from space, man."
From space.
And maybe a way of being like, "We're out of your league, dude. Look at us. We got space swings.
Exactly.
We got laser tag targets. We're out of this world, man." Or it just looked fucking cool, and that's all you really need for a music video.
And it does look cool.
Yeah, cool enough to win an award, baby, but that is the music video.
It is the music video.
It does end with them slapping their asses at the screen, but of course, YouTube doesn't want you to see that because they want you to load up another video right the fuck away.
Exactly. Also, you can't hear them say ass in the video because
that is very funny. Censored. Is that it's censored. And in that first point, it's censored, and it's just very clearly her grabbing her ass. You're like, well, at least visually, I know what we're talking about.
I know we're talking about ass.
Oh, and of course, who could forget there is some fisheye lens in this music video as well.
It was 1999.
It's 1999. That was the standard lens for a camera. You had to pay more to get a regular one.
We're not made of money.
No, certainly not. But we are made of covers, which we're going to talk about right after this short break.
Short break. Boom, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Boom, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're back. to discuss all sorts of covers, starting in the distant year 2013 with Scout. I was going to say Scott. It's Scout Niblett.
Scout Niblett.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy can't get no love from me. Hanging on the passenger side of his best friend's ride.
Scout Niblett, English singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist, also a professional astrologer.
Professional astrologer.
This is from her, I guess, last studio album. She's alive, from my understanding. Just hasn't released an album since this one.
Suppose they're
Too
still
busy
active,
working on
maybe.
astrology.
Yeah, too busy looking at, I don't know, the sky.
The sky. I mean, that is where stars are typically, or astro elements.
That's where we keep those.
Astrological things.
Did you see the supermoon?
I did not.
It wasn't. So there was a supermoon in September.
I saw that one.
That was very cool. That was like
Mhm.
obviously very large. And supposedly there was another one in October.
Okay.
Wasn't nearly as impressive. Just looked like a normal moon to me.
We had another Aurora Borealis out here.
Ooh, yes. I saw a bunch of people's pictures of the aurora.
I did see those as well. I missed it myself.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to look up in the skies, folks.
It's a good time to look up into the skies. Because the sun is doing wild things.
It sure is. It's going nuts out there.
But Scout Niblett, yeah.
Scout Niblett.
It's kind of like a indie thing. It's like that kind of style.
Got a really 90s, like sad grunge guitar to it.
True, it's very. I mean, it's not super distorted or anything, but it's that really like echoey, heavy, like bass is turned up sort of guitar tone.
Yeah, I was like all week I was trying to find exactly what song it reminded me of. I only got like kind of close. It's a little bit Other Side by Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's a little bit Creep by Radiohead.
Yeah.
It's a little Say It Ain't So by Weezer, and a little bit the intro to Santeria.
Okay, is there a Nirvana song this kind of sounds like as well?
That's probably
Yeah.
more what I should have been looking at, but I don't have a strong Nirvana background to really
No.
back that up.
Me neither.
But that is certainly the vibe it gave me.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense, and you definitely get that. It's a cool sound. I do like it, like that sound because like if I'm running my guitar through a filter, my synthesizer, I always end up being like, I like to turn the like resonance up and then turn the filter down so that you sort of bump the like lower end frequencies.
Yeah.
You kind of get a sound similar to this.
So I just did a crapshoot on Nirvana. If you try the intro to Heart-Shaped Box, kinda.
Okay.
It's another one that I feel like there's something that's an even closer match to it, but
That's a good start.
that's basically what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. That sound.
Something in the Way also kind of has. So yeah, it's this kind of heavy guitar, like you said, big resonance, big bassy vibe. That is Something in the Way by Nirvana, not by the Beatles.
The Beatles. Yeah, interesting. I didn't really pick up on that. But yeah, you kind of get that with these like slower guitar arpeggios with that bass sound. She of course comes in singing kind of like airy, like a bit airy.
Yeah, it's this real
smoky,
like
which doesn't really describe a sound, but that's how I think of it.
No, I don't want your number.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a little. I'm gonna. Whoa! Bless you, my man.
Bless me.
I don't want to use the term grungy too much, but it is like a sort of grungier. It's meant to feel a little dirty, her vocals, but also a little tender.
Yeah, I think it's got that.
Yeah. She doesn't give us the definition.
Oh, she skips that part. We don't know.
No
what
definition
a scrub is.
needed. We're in 2013 right now. Everybody knows what a scrub is.
We already know. Yeah.
We already know.
It's an
We've
established term. Song's been around. We've all heard it. What other sounds are on here? There's like backup vocals, like male backup vocals.
Yeah, that hit for the chorus.
Yeah. Then the drums. So like it's just kind of like a pretty straightforward rock beat.
Yeah.
On the also on the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Like a bit of bass in there. The real emphasis, like if you were to sum up this song, it's guitar arpeggio and like her vocals, and that's
later
most of
on
the
there's an
song.
electric guitar that plays these like slower riffs.
Yeah, and kind of hits a solo later on, like a real slow.
Yeah, it kind of does the bridge
Yeah.
and then sticks around. And it's sort of got this like ethereal quality to it, almost like a theremin at times.
Yeah, it's because it does a lot of wailing.
Yeah. And then you kind of get, oh wait, yeah,
waiting
with
for?
like there's multiple layers, so I don't know if that's a delay thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All this to say, I really like the composition of this
Some
one.
cool
All of these
sounds.
tones are music to my ears. What does it do for
the song,
like how we hear the song?
yeah, because there's no. I mean, there's such like a confidence about the original, you know,
Mm-hmm.
of like, don't talk to me, you know, like,
Yeah,
don't sit with us at lunch kind of thing. And
for
like,
sure.
this doesn't really have that. It sounds cool, but I don't know if it supports the lyrics all that well.
It's almost more like, I guess, like playing into the agony of being hit on by so many scrubs.
Like,
It's a real, like,
at me. No
It's
one knows
don't
how
talk to
holla
me
anymore.
energy that you get from sitting in the corner of a room with your hands over your ears.
Very different energy. Yeah, I don't know if it 100% makes sense, but it sounds cool. You know?
Yeah, I do like the sounds of it. But yeah, it is a strange sort of disconnect from the very confident original, the very assertive original. But we're gonna go with something that's a little more natural as a transition for this type of music. A little bit of dance music in 2015 with Cappa and John Santana.
I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holla at me.
Yeah. I got a quote from an article. With striking blonde hair, a sultry voice, deep indie electropop vibes, and a self-empowered positive attitude, Carla Cappa, aka Cappa in all Kappas, is an instant head turner.
Well,
That's
good
the quote I
for
took from the
her.
article.
I got that she can't help but sing pop music, and that she makes music for you to sing or laugh or cry to.
All right.
And that her Squarespace page is expired, and she hasn't dropped a YouTube video in 2 years.
Suspicious.
Now, this is Cappa with a C for folks who are just listening, not with a K, so she's not like a water demon,
It's not like a water demon.
and you can't distract her with a cucumber. So
So
keep that in
don't
mind.
even try.
Don't even fucking try that shit. John Santana, LA-based music producer.
Music producer. Yeah, this is kind of like a spacier electro pop sound. There's some things in there I was like, that's a little choppy.
Yeah,
Well,
and quite literally choppy, because there's a lot of chopping and screwing.
Oh, I said troppy, as in trop pop.
Troppy,
But it's not very strong. Like, that was one of my first reactions, but as you go through, it's not like super strong element.
Yeah,
But the way
and I'm
the
trying to think
synth
of
sounds sometimes.
2015, if that's cusp of like trop pop really taking off, and so this is just like a hint of that.
Yeah, it's not, now that I'm listening to it, it's not very prevalent at all.
It comes in a little at the end because there's like a xylophone or something.
Ooh.
But you're right in that I heard it, and it's like, and even just like the basic like synth pads that open up, that like that's used in trop pop. So
It's very
like
spacey, right?
yeah, but yeah, the elements are there, but they're not punched up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't call it trop pop.
No, certainly not.
But I mean, it's got, like we said, it's got those spacey synths, so it's always like filling the space out. There's obviously some melodic synth as well. Some that are just like, you know, the vocals being used in that way of like repeating and
I
looping
do.
and
I
stuff.
think that is the money for me. Is this one chopping up vocals and making them the melody like as an instrument? Yeah, I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah, and they do that a lot here. There's a lot of the like clappy sounds for the beats.
Yeah, so you've got that kind of like, I don't know if that's just because we were big into folk music in the mid 2010s or something, but we love our hand claps and,
Love our hand
and dance
claps.
mixes.
We do. Has that changed? I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of kind of classic synth pop trends on this one. The big thing here is she does her own little verse. A sort of almost Taylor Swift inspired vocal styling on that verse.
Right. And it even has a Genius page.
Oh, does it?
Blessedly. Oh.
That's good because I wrote it out.
I'm glad.
Okay. It's she says you're all about those big toys, big noise, saying that you're out with the big boys. Money cannot hold me. I want to be your one and only.
Yeah.
Big walk, big talk, always run about what you don't got. I wanted you to hold me, but now you'll just be lonely.
Here it is. Yeah. Now you just be lonely. So addressing a scrub more directly.
Yeah, a scrub that she thought was maybe not a scrub. Because she says, I wanted you to hold me.
Big walk,
she
big
had
talk.
hopes for a scrub.
Always running about what you don't got, which is related to the sort of ambition and always talking about wanting to do something. And
yeah, right in the definition of scrub. Dictionary definition, brother.
Yeah. So we got another scrub here on our hands.
Yeah, boys, what do we got here? Another scrub.
Yeah, she's got her own verse. It like fits well enough. It's almost, when I first heard it, I hadn't listened to the version with rap yet. So when I saw with rap, I was like, oh, maybe it's from this.
No, it's not.
But it's not. It's her own thing.
It's her own thing. I think it works well enough. It's very poppy sounding. It plays with everything she's doing. And yeah, adds this layer of betrayal from a scrub, a little drama in here. You know?
There's history now.
There's history.
Other than that, I mean, it is really based around this like smooth electro pop, and it's also lots of like musical dance sections.
Yeah.
Which is actually apparently just repeating the word me.
Me.
Just a little.
She got a Muppet on for this.
Got a Muppet on.
Yeah, it's this a little generic, but also I think that me like dance section really worked for me for some reason.
Yeah, it's got some like some of the parts are like, that's all right, and then it's got some stronger parts too, though, right? Like the dance section you mentioned, it's kind of fun that it does its own verse. That works well enough. It's a different perspective, just because the stories from the original are a little more vague.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's a story, it's like, oh, there was a guy and he wanted to hit on me, but he couldn't do it because he was a coward. Like, you know, like it's pretty general.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to make your own thing that doesn't take away from the original lyrics when you add it in.
Yeah.
So the fact that this one plays nicely and also plays nicely with the style of music she's brought it into is pretty good. That's good points. That's plus.
Yeah. I guess it's not that specific, but it is more specific in that it's like, oh, I thought you were not a scrub, but you're a scrub.
Yeah, and that it brings in a character instead of just the general concept of scrubs. It gives us a real scrub to dislike.
Oh, that's true. And we dislike this scrub.
We don't fucking like this guy. And we don't want him here. We get xylophone in the back end, real abrupt. A lot of these versions this week I found had very abrupt ends. Like no fade out or anything.
Ends.
The original's a fade. It's just...
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know what to make of that.
I don't know either. Especially famously where I was like, oh yeah, dance versions usually have a long trail fade out.
Yeah, but this is like just really basic, like boom, 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 and then like it's over.
And then it's over. Yeah. Yeah, sort of, you know, a solid version. Good enough. Good work, Cappa and John Santana.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about Big Joanie in 2016.
Big Joanie.
No!
I don't want your number.
No!
I don't want to give you money.
No!
I don't want to meet you nowhere.
No!
Don't want none of your time and no. I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can get
Big Joanie. They are a black feminist punk band, UK based.
Yeah.
And that's what you get here is a black feminist punk version, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool punk sound, eh? It's a lot more like, I mean, I want to say straightforward, but like I guess that's like the punk thing, right? They're like, what if it was guitar chords and we hit this drum also? And if you watch, there's a video of them performing it. It's like the drum kit is like two toms and a cymbal.
Like true punk rock, like low budget drum kit.
Yeah. She's like standing, playing like 4 drums.
Love to
It's
see a
great.
drummer stand. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and of course the best thing they add is their no's, which are like screamed, like
No.
shouted. No, I don't want your number. No.
They're also, I mean, they're British. We know that. One of the members seems to have quite a prominent accent, and they sing
Yeah,
the
the
section.
second verse
Yeah.
vocalist is like so British.
So that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, them shouting no, yeah, very punk, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the punk aesthetic on this song, especially because compared to the last 2, we finally kind of have more of that attitude back.
Mm-hmm.
So it serves the song pretty well.
Yeah, it serves it great. And like you said, like very simplistic parts, but like the tone on those drums is so heavy and strong.
Bum, 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 bum. And it's
Bum,
sad because
bum.
it's like all on toms, as far
Yeah,
as I can tell. Or
that's
that
what it sounds like
kind
to
of
me.
drum. So like it's you don't get that like sharp snare. It's just this like really low end thing, and then the guitar strumming, which is pretty, like simple, and we're just like doing chords and like kind of just strumming.
Yeah. Like everything just kind of works to a driving rhythm eventually.
Yeah, with got some good crunch to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's solid version.
quite nice.
Quite nice. Really enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it more than Jeme or perhaps Jeme in 2018.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride.
Yeah, they are Norwegian, I believe.
Yeah.
Made up, it's a duo made up of 2 other stage names. Wait, this might be a real name. Minus Manus.
Minus Manus
Is he
is
producer?
Magnus Bertelsen.
Right, it is
Is
a
his
stage
actual name. Yeah.
A pop producer who's apparently worked on a lot of number 1 hits, or several number 1 hits. If I could find the page, I can't. It's gone. So that's Minus Manus. And Oda Loves You.
Oda Loves You. Oda, famously the author behind the hit manga One Piece.
Of course.
This woman wants you to know that Oda loves you.
And also has a fairly recently made YouTube channel with 33 subscribers and 1 video.
Not
Put
bad.
out 2 weeks ago.
I'll tell you what, that's better than us.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. I refreshed the page.
Oh, there you go.
I have thinks he's fine in quotation marks.
Does that like fine like doing okay or fine like damn look at this hot piece of
Oh,
meat?
right. They say it differently. They don't say Scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly. They say Scrub is a guy that thinks he's fine.
Oh yeah, like Apollo Justice.
Like Apollo Justice. Okay, sick ref.
Really good ref. That's gonna hit well with
Our
probably just
demographic.
you.
Just me.
You
We'll
see, kids,
see.
in the game, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney.
He says he's fine.
He says he's fine. That's
I'm listening to the Big Joanie version. That's why it doesn't make any sense.
Alex.
Yeah, this is kind of also, a lot of electronic beats, kind of a
Yeah,
dance
this is
remix
the
thing.
other dance remix
Yeah,
we're
you
talking
get
about
out
today.
like the synth riff. And then kind of changes to like a simpler chord progression. The other
Got
thing,
snaps.
adds the snaps, and then like some
Immediately.
cymbals later on. But like, yeah, in terms of like danciness, they like add, they extend the chorus,
Yeah.
presumably for danceability, and then
Got it.
sort of add more beat. Wow, these notes are vague. I have a note on here that says, "My brain is tired. I feel like I should have gone over this one again."
And I'm even trying to parse it away from the Kappa version. I'm trying to like drag those apart, and it's like, I don't know, they really want to stick together in my brain.
They kind of have similar ideas because this one goes like, gets up really
it
high with the like
really
kind of
pitched up. That's
voice,
their
yeah.
move. Yeah. With a bit of like distortion around the edges, a bit
yeah.
of fuzz.
and it gets real squeaky sometimes with that
Yeah.
voice.
And that's their chorus extension, because she'll do the chorus like regularly, and then they do a second round where it bumps up into that distorted
yes,
chipmunk
that's
zone.
the extended hype up dancey chorus.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing. Like that's what this one does, really.
And yeah, once we establish that loop, we're kind of locked in. We go back to the hand snap verse, we run through the pre-chorus, that xylophonic synth through that boo-doo-doo-doo is there pretty much the whole time.
It's got some like spacier pad type synths just doing like a kind of space thing, spacing out chords. That's what's called harmony.
Yes, we got
and
harmony.
Then the drums.
Yeah, we get all like a sort of shaker rhythm in there almost.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that.
Yeah,
but
you got like the
but it's not just like chicka chicka chicka. It's like ka-chick.
Yeah, so like some electronic like chopped up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's another dancey version, similar electronic version. The other one, maybe it's just because it was the first one I heard, but the other one's a bit stronger to me.
Yeah, for some reason I'm also feeling that way. I don't know if it's because I'm just comparing the two like tricks of the chopped up me versus the pitched up chorus.
Right.
And I like the chopped up me more. Maybe I don't know. Does that?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, this one kind of just fucking fell through the cracks for me.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, truly looking at these, I'm like, yeah, we go from Big Joanie to Robyn Adele Anderson. It's like, well, no, we got to talk about like everything about this group is like they're a duo consisting of two fake names. I'm like, okay, I got to look these guys up. I could only find Magnus Bertelson's real name. I couldn't find Oda Loves You real name. It's just,
yeah, I guess I didn't find that either.
Yeah, it just felt like a lot of work for a version that didn't matter. But we're also the wrong people. Maybe you love the Jeme version, folks. Maybe you're more versed in dance music than us. But there's no way you're more versed in covers by Robyn Adele Anderson than us. This is 2019.
Not a chance.
No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me. Hanging out the
One of the Scott Bradley gals who broke out of the pen, dude. This is, we've talked about her like 100. I didn't even bother looking up how many times we talked about her because it's a lot.
I didn't. I know we've talked about her at least like 3-ish times as a solo artist.
As a solo
I mean,
artist.
she's leading this, I guess, because like there's a whole like jazz group. She got like a quartet behind her.
Yeah, I think Steven and I talked about her for Rollin'.
Oh, so that's
we
another
must have.
time.
That's another time, and because this setup, beyond being in a different studio space, looks nigh identical in the music video.
Oh, yeah?
It's beat for beat.
Like the same setup. Yeah, because like that's sort of what they do, right? They've got the we're like girl group from the, I guess, 40s in this case. You know, there's 3 of them. They're lined up. They all have a microphone. And then their jazz quartets behind them.
Yeah.
And then they sing.
They sing. It's funny, in the music video, a lot of the time, the pianist is mostly covered by the woman on the left.
Yeah.
So it just looks like arms are emerging from her rear and playing keys.
Playing some piano.
So that's fun. To go through the music video kind of briefly, they're the 3 ladies singing into microphones, and they do their kind of like standing dances. You know, the classic like 1940s standing. They spin around at some point. Yeah.
The other hand is at 90 degrees flexed back.
Yeah. That's
fun.
exactly it. It was a fun dance. It was all the craze back then. Not as big now. Good on them for synchronizing all these moves, though. They're pretty good at getting those down.
Yeah, the moves are synchronized enough. I do think the vocal arrangements are actually like pretty decent. Sometimes the singers trade off lines, and there's a lot of nice harmonies.
That's when it really came to life for me, is when they started trading lines.
Yeah.
Because you can make this sound like, and obviously this is a novelty track, but you can make it sound like a novelty track of that era by really, I think, putting some personality into individual characters in this, which they don't fully go for.
That helps. There are definitely times, but it doesn't always work all that well.
Yeah.
But it's all right. They've got, like I said, a quartet, so they've got bass, drums, piano, and then a muted trumpet.
Yep.
I like the muted trumpet sound. It doesn't play that much. It gets its own little sections after choruses.
That's right.
Cuts in here and there, and it's a cool sound. I like it.
Yeah, love the brass, man. There's one thing I've learned doing this show this long is like love a little bit of brass in a song.
Throw a little brass in, and I'll definitely raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
and then continue wholeheartedly.
Yeah, going back to the lyrical context, I think even this idea of introducing a concept and then singing about it has some like 40s roots in it a bit.
Kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like that old school sound of like, I don't even have an example.
A lot of times they would teach you a dance, or like
Yeah.
even Butcher Pete to an extent is like, hey, did the news get around about a guy named
Like
Butcher
I've got
Pete? Let me tell you about
this
dude.
story, I'll tell it to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does fit. It fits.
There's a real like lay out the concept first and then sing about the concept.
Yeah, I do think it fits the style pretty well.
Yeah. But of course, this is sort of a broken clock scenario because she does this with every fucking song.
Right, it's always like this, and it just happens to hit this time.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty solid arrangement, I think, and maybe it is luck, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
And they love doing scat.
Of course.
This no, which is basically scat. They're saying a word, sure, but they really like to lean into that. But yeah, real old timey sound. Everybody's playing very, very skilled for this. They're hitting their mark. And this time it happens to work. That's really the review of Robyn Adele Anderson I think we can give.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if they're in my condo unit.
They are, yeah. You live with Robyn Adele.
Just kind of looks. No, the wall's a different color. Just similarities.
I guess just to shout out everyone on this track. The vocals are Robyn Adele Anderson, Darcy Wright, and Sarah Krause. We got Chris Johnson on piano,
Yeah.
Orion Toure on drums, Georgia Weber on bass, and Wayne Tucker on trumpet.
All right. Way to
but
go, Wayne Tucker.
speaking of a group with a lot of names, let's talk about Cruel Intentions, the
Yes.
90s musical original cast in 2019.
No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me.
This is the on-Broadway version, I think, but I also did off-Broadway. So Matthew Griffin, Lauren Did you already say the names?
I did not. Go ahead.
Lauren Zakrin and Patricia Richardson. Yes, from Home Improvement.
Really?
Apparently, are
Neat.
the voices in this.
I didn't look into them because we talked about so many novelty musical acts in the past like month alone.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Once there's the list, it's like, maybe not. But they're in this musical, this Cruel Intentions, the 90s musical. So they use this song, I guess, there's like a mother character and her daughter is dating her piano teacher. And the mother's
Yeah.
racist and the piano teacher is black. So she's like, we can't have that. And then there's another woman in this as well. And she's like, I just want you to know that your daughter's doing this.
Yeah,
we just want to help her out.
clearly sabotaging her. She seems
Yeah.
to be like another student or something. So this is based on the 1999 film Cruel Intentions, which itself is a modern retelling of the 1782
Right.
novel Les Liaisons Dangereuses, which I'm guessing is maybe the inspiration for Les Cousins Dangereux.
I believe it is.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Arrested Development.
And then especially because there's like an adaptation of it.
Yes. So I have no knowledge of any of these things
didn't look up
except
the plot.
Arrested Development.
I didn't look up the plot.
Yeah, well, I think you kind of nailed it here. There is maybe something going on between this woman and her music teacher, and her mother is made aware of it and is racist. So
And she's like, damn. And like very explicitly, like that is her
Very
character. It's not subtext. She's like, what? And he's black? We can't have that.
yeah, it's like a cutoff line because the sort of evil woman bringing this information to the mother is like, I know she's so young and he's so, and she goes, black.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's kind of the intro to this. There's a few like scene moments. So there's that intro where that happens. And then there's another bit where like the other woman is like, talking about how she's like just concerned for the other girl. There's a bit where the mom says fuck. And then Ronald.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Ronald, who's the piano teacher character, and the mother character. I didn't look up the names other than they
Nor did
say
I.
Ronald in the...
And they say Cecile, who is the character who's not present.
Okay.
So that won't help you.
No. And they have like a confrontation, and then she's like, you gotta go. She also has a line of like, I took you off the streets, and he's like, what?
Yeah, he's like, I live like, in
you
a
just
good
employ
neighborhood.
me, like.
Yeah.
And
So she's like comically racist.
yeah, like very exaggeratedly.
Exaggeratedly.
And then in the end, Ronald says he's leaving, and then it kind of sounds like he's quoting something, but I couldn't find what he was.
Yeah, he says the black man is leaving or the black man is gone. That's what he says.
Like praise the Lord or something like that.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's a reference to earlier in the film.
Yeah, possibly. It does sound like he's quoting something. Don't know what he's quoting, if he is.
I guess he says it several times.
Yeah.
Big thing here is, I guess, like we got the riff on an electric guitar instead of an acoustic.
Yeah.
And we really like to focus on stings in this version overall. A lot of like hitting the drums very staccato with the guitar at the same time, really punching that way.
Yeah, although not a lot of focus on the instrumentation. You know, they're the singers on stage, right?
Yeah, and you get some like the mother singing this has a really like operatic character voice.
Yeah.
So when she lets that loose, that's a bit of fun.
Scrubs.
Yeah, she does like her vocal run.
That kind of stuff. And then
Scrubs! Yeah.
Otherwise, like basically synthesizers and things are replaced by, well, I guess they had strings on the original.
Yeah.
But like they don't move to the EP. It's just all strings because that's
right.
But yeah, that's kind of the arrangement. You know,
that's the arrangement. There is an interesting arrangement note I have here around 150 when the guitar comes in for when Ronald's singing. That guitar has the same tone and general pattern as the battle music from Persona 5.
I didn't play Persona 5.
Well, I figured you wouldn't really have that knowledge, but it's a and it's the same tone, but like the Persona version's a little quicker.
Okay.
And so I thought that was interesting.
That is very interesting.
It'd be weird if they took it from that, but like,
very strange. Yeah, we actually got it from. Well, when did Persona 5 come out originally?
2016.
Oh wow, this is 2019, but I don't know when the musical started.
Persona 5 was released in 2016.
Okay.
Because it was a PS3/PS4 title.
Oh, that's right.
Released in America in 2017, though. That's that. That's this version. It's a novelty. Listen, folks, it's not going to win best worst. We could win weirdest or whatever category we're doing today. But hey, coming up next, 2019's Leo.
No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can get no love from me. Hanging at the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can get no love from me. Hanging at the passenger.
Leo, someone we've talked about many times, most recently on our duality episode.
That's right.
Which we quite liked that version.
Quite like that version.
An acoustic version, but this is his classic metal covers.
Yeah, and using some of the same tricks. He brings brass in the same way he had it on duality.
He does. He seems to. And I think he does. It sounds like a tuba, but if you watch his video, it doesn't show a tuba. It just shows him like hitting a bass. I was like, does that make a tuba sound? I don't know.
Right. Is he, modifying that bass to sound like a tuba? That's interesting.
I'm not sure, but it is like a tuba kind of bass line. But they kind of split it up, right? Because that's the lighter like verse and I think pre-chorus.
Yeah.
And then it gets like really heavy metal on the chorus.
Yeah, which I think is the right move to make here.
Yeah.
Really make it a like fuck off energy, like no scrubs. Hey, get the fuck out of here. I'm growling. Scrubs not here.
Just metal. Possible beatboxing briefly early on.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, not 100% sure, but very possible. It kind of has a progression, right? So like you mentioned, there's like a tuba sound.
Yeah.
He also does the acoustic guitar intro. And then like the tuba thing comes in, it's kind of like bwamp, bwamp, bwamp for the verse. And then once it gets into the pre-chorus, the drums come in. They got this like really heavy backbeat. So it's like a really like bouncy. And then it's like boogie metal kind of. I don't know. I feel like there's a comparison. I don't necessarily know the exact word.
Yeah, he definitely has like a good like groove to this.
Groove,
if it's not,
that's it, groove,
because you can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like that tuba, for example, sounds very polka, even in terms of its playing style. Like what it's playing is like kind of root notes, maybe root fifth.
Yeah.
Bwam, 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 which is a little bit of your like polka bounce.
Yeah, it does have a bounce to it, which is kind of fun. And then like it just breaks out into the like metal once you get to the chorus, and it's fun.
Yeah, he's really good at moving swiftly like up into like the heavy chug, back down to like just the fart. Like of the tuba, and so it's is it the best cover Leo's done? Nah. Is Leo just a solid performer? Like, yeah,
generally, and like just very convincing. We've talked about this before, but he always seems like he's having fun, and like, oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, even in the music video, you can see him on the drums doing a big, exaggerated happy face, and like, dude's always just having a good time. It feels like. The kind of a little bit of Battletoads energy around 155, though, I noted.
I don't know Battletoads music either.
Come on, Alex. We've played Battletoads.
I just don't know the music very well.
It's basically that.
Okay.
That kind of like, yeah, that kind of aggressive guitar. Like Battletoads loves a little bit of hard rock / metal. That makes it feel like you're going to go beat up some. See, I always played a lot of Battletoads versus Double Dragon, which has a little bit of both enemies in there. I think Battletoads do a lot of space guys, though. They fight dudes in space.
True, there is some space in there.
Double Dragon fights dudes on the street.
Okay.
That's the difference, Alex.
That's the difference between Battletoads and Double Dragon.
They're otherwise completely the same.
Yeah, what else happens here? There is like a couple guitar, so there's like an instrumental section that he screams no scrubs to get us into.
That's right, yeah. This is in the Battletoads section, yeah.
Yeah. Is this the Battletoads section?
Yeah, that guitar there, and then...
I see. Yeah, so I do like that instrumental section.
Yeah, it's sick. You'd like Battletoads music, my man.
Okay. Well, I'll have to play some Battletoads.
You gotta.
Quite like rhythmic and short riff, and then like spread out with these longer chords with lots of percussion, and they kind of trade off. And then it moves into what I would consider more of a guitar solo.
Yeah.
And then he kind of shouts no scrubs.
No scrubs.
And then another guitar solo that starts with the melody of the chorus and then kind of does some shredding and stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he goes into a bridge.
Yeah.
And he kind of does his own little back and forth, which is quite nice. It does drop down. Still lots of guitars, though.
Yeah. I mean, solid version.
Yeah.
He's got the energy. He's got some interesting moments.
It doesn't have the, like, instrumental diversity of his Duality cover, but, like...
No, that Duality cover is a gem, I think, amongst Leo covers.
Still covers some good ground.
Yeah. It's not a half-assed effort here. He finds some of that confidence, some of that aggression of the original, brings it out, still manages some of the more like groovier elements while still being very distinctly metal.
Yeah, so cool.
So it's time for our final verdicts. We got 3 categories today: the worst version, the best version, and the version most beloved by hit scrub star Zach Braff.
Hit scrub star Zach Braff. I know the answer to that.
You know, that one's an easy one. Alex, what's the worst version of this?
The worst version of this song is probably... I'll give it to Jeme because that's the one that just like did not leave an impression.
Truly, like it's a void.
Yeah.
If you're asking me to describe it now, I still might take a minute.
Like there's a synthesizer in that one, right?
Yeah, synth, husband and wife duo.
Maybe.
Yeah, the worst version for sure. Alex, what's the best version though? The
best version of this song is, you know what? Which one am I going to give it to? I think I liked... it's probably Big Joanie, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
I really like it with that punk attitude. It's quite a good adaptation.
Yeah, it's sick as hell. It's like I like the Scout Niblett version, but I like in terms of really grasping the core spirit of the song, I think Big Joanie knocks it out. And gives it a punk rock edge. So yeah, I do agree that that's the best version. But Alex, what's Zach Braff going for?
I mean, Scout Niblett, 100%.
100%.
Not even a question.
I think you're right, because that has a bit of that. You could use it sappily in an episode of Scrubs.
Oh, absolutely. The last episode of Scrubs, presumably.
Yeah, the last episode. No, because he leaves. So what happens in Scrubs is they do Scrubs medical school, and he's in for like 4 episodes as a guest teacher, and then he leaves. And then you followed Dave Franco and some other people around.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's sort of an infamous move.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Scout Niblett. We're samesies this week, Alex.
That's just what happens sometimes.
That is just what happens when we're correct.
Yeah.
But if you have different opinions, similar opinions, want to talk to us about a version we didn't talk about, hit us up on the app, formerly known as Twitter, #CoverMePod, @SnakeyMe, @some Alex Wise Guy. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for future episodes. You can also email those to us at covermepod@gmail.com. Talk to us there. Get the word out, rate and review us. We're on all the apps. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on YouTube Music. We're on Amazon Podcasts, Podurama, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Spotify. And tell your friends, family, neighbors, and loved ones about us. What you can really do this week to get the word out there is come up with a term, like a word for a kind of person who listens to Cover Me. Get that out there, and I'd start identifying as it in public. Like, oh yeah, I'm a real cov, bro, and people will be like, "What is that?" And then
You don't know what that is? Okay.
sounds like you're covless, bro. Yeah, they'd come up with a negative term also, maybe for people who don't listen to Cover Me. Maybe that's the more effective route, or both.
Just make people feel bad.
Yeah, essentially, we're trying to work with tribalism this week and really like us-them mentality. And you need to create an us and them and get the them to the us.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Simple. That's the plan. And that does it for today's episode of Cover Me. And as we always say on Cover Me, a scrub is a guy that can't get no love, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, listening to Cover Me.